is the Mighty OB'a Pat Freeman here at 1080 AM WFO Radio and clbTV and the internet at www.wfoam.com. We are now getting towards the first cuts for the NFL season, and I am looking for a few surprises or a possibility of a trade happening from the Buffalo Bills. I think they have an overabundance of defensive backs. And if I'm the Buffalo Bills, I am going to keep a couple of these young guys that have great potential and possibly try to trade a couple of our veteran defensive backs. I think Brian Scott and Dante Whitner could be possible trades to other teams, and I truly believe that this could happen. Also, Ellis Langster has not played very well, and I think he might be on the chopping block. I would really like to see the Buffalo Bills invest in the talent of Dominique Harris, Kerry Harris, and also a couple of the other defensive backs and make them into this up-and-coming defensive backfield, which is one of the best in the NFL. Also at the quarterback position, really, I think Chan Gailey needs to recognize that Trent Edwards, unless he just stands out tall and above everyone else, I cannot see this guy as an NFL starting quarterback. He's still holding the ball too long. He's also throws the ball to the receiver rather than throw the ball where the receiver is going to be. This is one of his problems that he's had through 3 or 4 years in the NFL that I have not seen any improvement. His anticipation of where a receiver is going to be in ball placement is very key. And if you look at the statistics over his career of the Buffalo Bills, very little run after the catch because of the bad ball placement of Trent Edwards and Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick is not exactly one of the better ones either. I would hope that they would give Brian Brome very much so strong consideration in being the starting quarterback. I have not been that happy with this so-called quarterback competition, whereas Trent Edwards has been the starter for each and every game. If it was a true competition, I think Chan Gailey would have rotated the starters. Trent Edwards, we already know what he can do. We already know he's NFL fragile. He's only one hit away from being out of the game. He has not completed a season in his 4 years with the Buffalo Bills, and I'm very surprised he's completed part of this preseason with the hit he took last week. He lost a tooth. He holds the ball too long. His ball placement is very mediocre. I don't believe he's the quarterback to get you where you need to get to in the NFL. I hope I'm wrong, but chances are I'm not. Also, the defense with the Buffalo Bills, I believe that George Edwards has finally recognized that his personnel is where he's going to have to run a hybrid 3-4. If you notice, you're seeing Chris Ellis and Chris Kelsey with their hands on the ground a lot. You're seeing four-man fronts a lot. I think they're going to use the 3-4 concept to confuse offensive coordinators because of the personnel of the Buffalo Bills is still more suited for a 4-3. You don't have a true starting nose tackle. Kyle Williams is better being put at a gap, and so is Marcus Stroud. So I think he's going to have to run a hybrid 3-4, and hopefully by running this, he'll be able to confuse many of the offenses, especially the first 3 games of the season. This is when I believe the Buffalo Bills will sneak up on a lot of teams because they do not have enough book on what Chan Gailey is actually going to do on offense and defensive fronts. This is something that people need to realize. The Buffalo Bills have a very good opportunity to get out of the gates very quickly in the first 3 games of the season before other coordinators have enough book on them. What I mean is film-wise. They don't have enough film on the Buffalo Bills to see what they do best, and other coordinators will try to take that away from them, especially on the offensive end. And once they do have enough film, That's when we're going to see what type of coach Chan Gailey and George Edwards are as far as running the offense and defense of the Buffalo Bills. But the first 3 games of the season, don't be surprised if the Buffalo Bills go 2-1 or 3-0. That does not mean they're a great team or better team than the teams that they're playing, but other teams are not going to have enough book on them to defend them or stop their offense in a consistent manner because they don't have enough film on the Buffalo Bills in actuality seeing what they're doing. Chan Gailey has a great opportunity to get out of the gate quick before teams have the ability to study the film on them and catch up with what they're doing. So these first 3 games are going to be critical for the season of the Buffalo Bills. And hear what I'm saying. If they go 3-0, don't get excited. It's only because teams don't know exactly what Chan Gailey and George Edwards are doing. Once they have enough film on them, they're able to study them. That's when we're actually going to see what type of head coach Chan Gailey is and what type of defensive coordinator George Edwards is. This is the Mighty OB'a here on clbTV and 1080 AM WFO radio and the internet at www.wfoam.com. You can hear us every Saturday live from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. on the #1 sports show in the nation. We will see you next week. I am the Mighty OB'a.